Throughout all of these short film courses, I refer to the filming of the Assurance. So in this movie, I'm going to give you an overview of the whole production so that you have a frame of reference. So this is less of a tutorial and more of a reference to help you get more out of all this short film training. The main part of our production consisted of 3 days at the end of March 2013. The first day was a lighter day, meaning that we didn't have much to film and there were less complicated shots and camera moves, so we didn't need as much personnel on hand. The only crew was myself as DP and director, Daniel Mamura filling in as gaffer and basically the rest of the camera and G&E department, and Josh Savari on audio. And that's it, 3 people. Elijah Teagues and Stephen Heller were also there, but their primary jobs were to film the behind-the-scenes footage for this training. On this first day, we only shot scene 7, what I refer to as the hut scene with Eva and Natty. As we'll learn about later in this training series, this was a rough day because of some crazy weather that I wasn't prepared enough for. The second day was the biggest day of production. All cast, all crew, about 20 to 30 extras. We started in the morning and shot into the night. As we'll learn later in this training series, we ended up unable to get all that we wanted to shoot that night. But we did get some pretty great stuff. All of scene 9, the council scene, scene 13, the goodbye scene where Tayani and Cordelia part ways, and we also shot a lot of great night stuff for the first part of scene 10. The third day was more of a medium, average-y shoot day. We started mid to late morning and finished before the sun went down. Most of the cast was there, most of the crew. We had about 8 to 10 extras. On this third shoot day, we only got one scene, scene 8, what I refer to as the common area scene. But this was probably the longest and most complex scene in the film. There were a lot of moving pieces, and we got some pretty great footage. Now, these 3 days were what I call the main production days. But I still had a lot more work ahead of me. We had to reschedule the night shoot, for which we had a lot of really amazing people volunteer to return to help out. After getting much of the footage edited, I realized the story was missing some key elements. So Heather and I wrote a new scene. We made one attempt to film that scene, but the location we were going to use had too much noise from a nearby highway. Also, the sun came out and it just didn't look like the Assurance. So we had to ditch that shoot and reshoot that pickup scene at our main location. I also shot a lot of stuff with Stephen Heller, one of the behind-the-scenes producers I just mentioned. He came with me and my family to shoot the finale at a local park, and then we took a road trip to Eastern Washington where we literally pulled off to the side of the road and stole loads of shots. All the snow stuff, and most of the desert footage as well. Stephen Heller and I also worked together to film some of the special effects shots we used in the movie. There were also seemingly countless shots that we shot on little family road trips. My daughter Natty, who plays Cordelia, would bring her costume, and we'd just go out driving. We stole shots in parks, or whatever locations we found that would work. Finally, we also had a host of voiceover shoots because we had a lot of editing changes and rewrites in post. Having an amazingly flexible and generous lead actress in Eva Jane, as well as my sweet little Natty, really saved this entire production. They were so patient with all the rewrites and reshoots and everything else that I threw at them. So, now that you're familiar with what our production looked like, let's dig a little bit more into some universal production basics.